Hello, class. This is Mr. DeVoe-Peterson. Let's take a look at your discussion post for student voices. So let me share my screen and see what you said for week three. This is the week three discussion post for, things that you found interesting, um, that you read or that you need a little more explaining on. There's a, description of what I'm looking for here. And if I just jump through this, let's see. Nicole said you found fascinating the insights about students advantages for purchasing software at significant discounts. Yeah, I still find that very interesting also myself. Um, and then you found, and this was interesting. I'm glad you shared this, Nicole. Struggling with distractions, trying to complete my homework, impacts your productivity. Well, it does mine too. I can get distracted with an email or a phone call. We're all there. But you learned learning about Tide, a focus timer to minimize distractions. Set a certain amount of time where you're not going to respond to other distractions or phone calls or text messages or pop-ups on your computer screen. All of that is good. And I bet a lot of students feel the same way. You're not the only one. So I'm glad you wrote about that. It's using some of the techniques that you know works for you to avoid distractions, to stay productive, whatever that amount of time is, and then reward yourself for it afterwards. Get up and don't sit at the computer for 8 hours straight. You have to do something different too. So that's interesting. I'm jumping around here. Christine, I know there's something about AI. Said something about AI, finding it scary. Well, we all find it scary. It's kind of the open frontier, the Wild West right now. And how can it accurately uh, take that information about an illness, or you mentioned the medical industry, and giving you a treatment for that. Well, I would guess sometimes it gets it right, and there's sometimes it gets it wrong. So that is scary, and doctors pretty much know that. I hope they do. So it is frightening. It's probably good as far as giving you an idea, what the different things could be causes to a symptom, that is, if you're a new doctor, but it's nothing like experience to know how to treat people and read the signals and things that you need to be careful of. So, yeah, it is scary for surgical procedures, and it's also used for programming. Getting an example of how to write certain program algorithms and code, good for that. I've used it for, I've highlighted a transcript, maybe of an hour-long presentation, the whole darn thing. And I threw it in a chat GPT and said, summarize this in 2 pages for me. And it's like, oh, okay, there's a highlight. That gives me a little cheat sheet of what they're talking about. Then I can more easily scan it if I don't have a lot of time. So, people that know how to use artificial intelligence or AI productively, how to leverage its capabilities, well, are the ones who are going to get hired. It's not that it's going to replace everybody. It's going to replace those that don't know how to use it, because you'll be expected to know how to do it. Another example is I was just at the advisory committee meeting for the college last week, and we were talking to a hospital administrator and in the PR department, and you may be looking for illustrations and diagrams or photos for a promo piece, and asked ChatGPT to give me royalty-free content. Well, maybe it's royalty free, maybe it's not. You've got to research it. You own the output that you create with the artificial intelligence. So if someone gets sued, it's you, not the artificial intelligence. So you got to do your due diligence and just find, with a fine, powerful microscope, look at what it's telling you. And with all your experience and other resources and places you've checked to find out if it's right, make sure that you're using the right content with ChatGPT, and it's all the other ones. There's many others, but just be careful with that. Um, what else? Cloud-based applications. This is Calvin, very interesting. Software as a service. You're used to that. OneDrive from Microsoft, um, uh, Gmail from Google. All those are cloud-based services where, they provide everywhere, the software, the infrastructure, the back of it, everything, the operating system that runs the software on the cloud drives, or you can just use the cloud drives for storage for data. Maybe you've got an online facility or a storefront, and you don't have all of the hardware to store all of the web pages and content and sales information, you contract with cloud services to do that for you. And especially for a startup, you don't know how much capacity you're going to need. You may not have the tech people on hand to manage it. So the cloud services come in handy to take care of that for you. What else? Let's see. Janet, what did you say? Trends in, artificial intelligence, another, yes. Speaking to patients regarding symptoms. I can give you an idea, but again, you have to double check what it's telling you. I'm jumping through here. Let's see, what else? Alicia, let's see. I'm still trying to get chapter 3, both training assessment done. As someone who is not computer savvy, it can be difficult. That's true. I bet a lot of you feel that way. It is difficult if you're not computer savvy. This is all new. And remember, you're taking this class in 9 weeks. You're taking it in condensed format. So it does take time. It takes discipline. And as we heard earlier, you got to dedicate time and set it aside and block out all the distractions and, things that can get you off your goal. Okay, what else? Hi, people. Okay, this was interesting. Arnold, more direction on paper, finding everything. You don't want to get a bad grade. Yeah, okay, so Arnold, I'm glad you brought that up because there's different ways of getting hold of me for help. There's emailing me. There's coming to see me in my office and Business Education 126 in the middle of the building on the first floor. There's, I don't know, catching me during office hours, like I said. Sometimes students catch me in the hallway and we chat. They've come to my office and they recognize me and we talk in the courtyard where the business ed building is. Other times they email me. Other times they come to my virtual office hours, which if you've forgotten is Monday and Friday morning, 8:15 to 9:30. I'm there online. It's on the top of the syllabus, the address for the Zoom to come find me. So do that. Take advantage of that and reach out to me. Okay, let's see. Josephina, yes, some help with doing the word hands-on test. Well, I just recorded a YouTube on that and posted it on Canvas for you. So I'm glad you brought that up. That was helpful. I read that yesterday and I recorded it today. So I'm glad you brought that up. So a little review of your student voices where you get a chance to tell me what's working for you, what you learn, what you need extra help with. It's really valuable for me to assess where you are as a student in this online class. So don't be afraid to speak up and push your thoughts here. I use it and I'll try to I'll get feedback regularly on it from now on. I got to realize I wasn't doing that, but I am doing it now. So that's it. Let me see you online. Let me see you face to face and let me hear from you if you have questions. All right. Bye for now.